Hi, I'm Ranj, the bearded plumber. Hope you're all keeping well. Thanks for joining me today. So today's video is actually about smart thermostats, such as the Tado. I get asked a lot about the smart thermostats I fit because as part of being a breakdown and servicing engineer here in Amsterdam, I fit a lot of smart thermostats because firstly they save you energy. I love the feature where you can turn your heating on and off from the touch of your mobile phone. You don't physically actually have to touch the thermostat itself. There's no longer a need for a programmer and a thermostat. It's just one programmable thermostat now. Back in the day when I was working at British Gas, I used to install the Hive. But since moving here to Amsterdam, there's no Hive here. So the ones that I get my hands on are the Google Nest, the Honeywell T6 and the Tardo. And recently I'm also going to be working with the Valence V Smart. So in this video I'm going to be doing a comparison of all 4 smart thermostats that I currently fit. The pros, the cons, why I would recommend a particular model or a particular thermostat over another. Just to clarify why I do what I do, because I get a lot of messages, people asking me, oh, so is the Nest better than the Honeywell, or is the Tardo better, and vice versa. So I just thought I'd make a simple video just to explain the differences of the costs, the reasons behind why I would choose a particular thermostat over another. And I thought I'd just also let you know that these thermostats are all mine. I physically have actually purchased them. This is not a sponsored video. It's just a completely unbiased, my opinion of what I like about each thermostat, what I don't like about each thermostat. So yeah, there's no loyalties in this video. So if I lean towards one particular one, it's not because I'm getting any brownie points from them. It's just that I like what I like, and hopefully this will help you guys decide on which thermostat you should be fitting for a particular job. And without further ado, let's get on with it. So first off, I'm going to start with is the Nest by Google. This is, I think, the most common and the most favorite of people's. Everybody's always on about a smart thermostat, and the first one they talk about is the Nest smart thermostat. So just to start, let's open it up. So in the box we get the smart thermostat. So this one is the white version, white on the outside, and all the Nest thermostats have a black glass dial, so it's very fancy looking. That's the thermostat, the heat link, and the base, the screws, and a back plate. So the way it works is this is the wall plate. You remove the existing thermostat and you put the 2 cables here to T1 and T2, screw that to the wall, and then line this up and clip. You'll hear the click sound, and that's fitted. That would fit on, and then there's a little LED that will start flashing. So that's the bit that actually is the main thermostat. So the wall plate basically is there so that you can mount your thermostat on the wall plate to hide any horrible big opening in the wall that may be there from the previous thermostat or the previous programmer. So that goes there. This is the heat link. Basically you got your live and neutral to power it up. Number 2 and 3 is your common and normally open. And if your boiler operates on an open therm technology, you could use then the OT1 and OT2. 2 and 3 is for your 230 volt on-off switching. T1 and T2 is basically the cable that would connect to your thermostat. So the heat link is a transformer as well. It drops your voltage down from 230 to 12 volts to power up your Nest thermostat. And because it's low voltage, you can actually use telephone cable for all that matters. It's just carrying 12 volts. It doesn't actually need to be any heavy duty cabling. So here in Holland, everything is literally low voltage anyway. So for me to install these, it's very straightforward. The heat link goes underneath the boiler, 230 into the heat link. The existing cable that was going from the existing thermostat to the boiler, I would cut in between and put the heat link in between it, so to either open them or to the switch, the normal common and normally open switch, and then the T1 T2 to the thermostat. The price range for a Nest thermostat here in Holland, it is about 240 to 250 euros, and that's about 220 to 230 pounds in the UK. This is the Nest Smart thermostat, so it's the learning version, the V3. They do have another version which is the Nest E. I think probably E stands for economy. This one comes with a 2-year guarantee. The E version comes with a 1-year guarantee. Smart learning thermostat is fully metal and glass, whereas the Nest E is plastic. The Nest Smart thermostat can be mounted on the wall or it can be wireless, work wirelessly, but for it to work wirelessly, it will need a micro USB cable going in there, and then that would sit on a stand, and the stand is an additional, I think, 40 to 50 euros. Whereas the actual Nest E version already comes with a stand pre-built on it, and that's all plastic. In my experience, I prefer the Nest E version, especially when you need it to be standalone, working wirelessly. The reason why I like that is because it's a lot cheaper. It comes for less than 200 euros and it does the same job as the Nest Learning Thermostat. The Nest Learning Thermostat comes with a 2-year manufacturer's warranty, whereas the Nest E version comes with a 1-year warranty. Both the Nest E and the Smart Learning Thermostat can both be wired on open therm and as an on-off switching thermostat. You can have multiple Nest thermostats in your one account in your house if you have multiple zones. So if you have, like, you know, your heating separated on 2 or 3 zones with motorized valves, you can have multiple Smart Nest thermostats. It's a great piece of kit. What I like about it is that you can program it on your mobile phone app, or you can actually program it in the actual thermostat itself. It's like Fort Knox. You turn it and press it and you hear clicks. It picks up the Wi-Fi directly. You don't actually need to physically plug anything into your router. This will search for the Wi-Fi wirelessly, which is a plus point. What I don't like about the Nest is that it does tend to drop off the Wi-Fi at times, especially the metallic one, because the metal casing of the actual thermostat can cause a bit of interference. I've had it in the past where it's dropped Wi-Fi connection. The temperature it's measuring can be a couple of degrees off and be slightly inaccurate. I've spoken to Nest about this and they tell me that, oh, it's because it's metal and it's trying to find Wi-Fi and send signals. It can cause a bit of extra heat, and I'm like, but that's not the point. It's a thermostat that's supposed to measure the temperature of the room, irregardless whether your technology heats it up or not. As much as a Nest is a great product, I don't ever go and promote this thermostat first. I will always start with a different model and then move towards the Nest, and the only time I would actually say, yeah, go for a Nest thermostat is if a customer already has a Nest doorbell or the Nest carbon monoxide alarms, other Nest appliances and accessories. The nice thing about the Nest, what I can say, is that if you have Nest carbon monoxide alarms, the Nest Protect, my favorite feature of that is that if the Nest Protect detects carbon monoxide or smoke and the boiler is running, it will physically turn the boiler off, so knock the thermostat off and it'll kill the gas burning appliance. So that, for me, I think is an amazing safety feature, and I do really love that. The Nest is also compatible with Apple HomeKit, Alexa, Google Home, obviously because it is Google. So it's very versatile. Just to also let you all know that if you do buy the Google Nest thermostat and you sign up to the app and make an account, you will be asked and prompted by Google to let them obviously track your phone and all these other terms and conditions. And a lot of people don't want to do that. They don't want Google knowing their personal details and you know, they follow their phone and their whatever they're doing with their phones. So therefore, a lot of people do shy away from the Nest when I do tell them that this is something you're going to have to click on the terms and conditions. That's something to just keep in mind, that if people don't want Google following them, then probably this is not the best product for them. Now on to the next one. The next thermostat that I will be talking about is one of my favorite, which is the Honeywell Lyric T6. Back in a bit. Right guys, Honeywell T6. This is a thermostat I carry in my van all the time. I have usually got the white version because it comes in white and it comes in black. So I carry at least one black and one white in the van. And also I carry the Lyric T6R. The T6R is basically a wireless version. So although it's wireless to the fact that it doesn't need to be physically connected to the cabling from the boiler, but it needs power, and the power source is that it gets plugged into your socket. So it's wireless, that the thermostat can be anywhere in the house, but it does need constant power. I just thought I'd get that out the way with the T6R. The T6R comes pre-built with a stand on it, so it's actually freestanding. That one is usually about €50 to £50 more than the standard T6. The T6R also only comes in black at the minute, so that's just something that you need to be aware of, and also that it needs a socket nearby to plug it into for power. As a smart thermostat, the Lyric T6 is the cheapest one on the market that I have found. It retails for about €150, which is, and in the UK I've noticed, is about £125. So yeah, so the cool thing is that it's one of the cheapest on the market. That's why I promote this more than the other ones. Also for the fact that Honeywell is one of the best manufacturers for thermostats, programmers, timers, heating controls in general. And that's why I promote this thermostat over the other ones, because I know that it's from a reputable company that's been around for years and that the aftercare is actually amazing as well. So let's unbox it and see what's inside. So, straight out of the box, you get the Honeywell Lyric T6 thermostat. This is what they call the receiver, but it's basically their heat link, like the Nest have. It comes with a cable for power, here in Holland anyway, with the European plug, and a set of instructions, and screws to obviously hold the cables in and fix the parts to the wall. So just to open it up and show you what is inside and what it's all about. Just to let you know that the whole thing is all plastic. The receiver's plastic and the actual thermostat itself is plastic. Undo the screws and that comes off. And thermostat is basically white. You get the black version, and the black version even the LCD display is black, and it's got a bit of a protection on it. You can pull that off once you fitted it. On the back is the back plate. And the back plate, basically, when you open it up, so there, you've opened it up, and as you can see, I'll put this over here as well. So to wire this up, it's really simple. Mains power, live and neutral, goes to your L and N in there. From the boiler, depending if your boiler has open therm or you're going to use it as a switching 230 switching thermostat, you've got A and B to call for heat, or you got the open therm. So depending on how you're going to wire it up at the boiler, you can use either one of these connections, here, or here. And then the cable that goes from here to the thermostat is connected at T. So you put the two cables here, and then two cables here, close that off, screw it to the wall, and clip that back on, like so. That's that, and then this bit clips on top like this, screw it in. Once that's screwed on, this will illuminate green to say that this is power, and once it's connected and all working and you put a demand on the thermostat, this green light will come on, and once this green light comes on, the heating will fire up. So that's basically how you would wire this one up. So the nice thing about this thermostat is that it promotes both open therm and on-off protocols. It's definitely one of the easiest to install. You can also have multiple thermostats in your house. I've done it many times when I've split the heating system, like ground floor and upstairs, and put motorized valves in. So then you can have multiple thermostats in your house connected to your mobile app. The Honeywell is compatible with Amazon Alexa, Google Home, the Apple HomeKit. If you're going to use the Honeywell Lyric T6R, I have found that they need to be no more than 30 meters away from the receiver. But when it's wired, it can be as far as you want, because obviously the cable is what's carrying the signal back to the receiver. The receiver usually just goes under the boiler, and the thermostat can go anywhere in the house, usually the living room. That's your Honeywell Lyric T6. Like I said, it's the cheapest out of the lot. It's the one that I promote before I promote any other one. There is also a Honeywell Evo Home System. The Honeywell Evo Home System is completely a different system. It is a lot more expensive, but it has its own place in the market, which I will do a separate video on later on. The other feature that the Honeywell Lyrics have is that this also connects to your Wi-Fi via the thermostat itself. It does not require a dongle or a bridge or something to be plugged into the back of the router. Comparing the two, the Nest and the Honeywell, just because they both don't need anything to be plugged into the back of the router, the Nest you have to connect the Wi-Fi up actually on the physical thermostat, whereas this, the Honeywell Lyric, needs to be connected via your app, the Honeywell Home app, so that your phone needs to be connected to the actual wireless LAN in the house, and that is then how you would connect this via your phone to the Wi-Fi. That is the only part that I find a bit, sometimes you have to do it maybe 2 or 3 times, just because depending on which router the house has, and yeah, small things like this can cause a bit of a glitch in the system. It's never taken me longer than 3 attempts to connect it to the Wi-Fi. But once it's connected, and yeah, it's all good. So that wraps it up for the Honeywell Lyric T6. And now to talk about the Tado. So I'll be right back, guys. Right, Tado. This is definitely a fantastic piece of kit. It is one of the best on the market, depending on what you need to do. On my Instagram stories and Instagram blog, there's always talk and installation of me doing Tado systems. The reason why I do the Tado is because it has a wonderful feature which allows the consumer to individually set the temperature per room. I know that Nest does not do this. You may be able to find things that work with Nest, but Nest actually physically don't have smart thermostats for their radiators. Honeywell do, but that's with the Evo Home, and again that's a different system altogether, so I will do a separate video like I explained already. But the Honeywell T6 does not have this feature, so therefore Tado straight out the box does. And let's open it up. Straight out the box, that is all you get. You get 2 components. So you get, these are basically adapters for the USB adapters. They are so nice that they give you European and the UK plug. So obviously it's perfect for people like me. Should I wish to move back to the UK ever, I can take my Tado with me, and obviously I've got a UK plug. And this is the bridge. The bridge has an Ethernet connection which connects like that, and then you've got a micro USB for power. So this is where the Tado is different to the other two, the Nest and the Honeywell T6. The difference is that the bridge, this particular thermostat uses a bridge, and the bridge needs to be plugged into the back of the router to give it internet access, and it needs to be plugged in for power as well. The bridge itself needs to be powered up, and it needs 5 volts, and for the internet access as well, so it needs to be plugged into the back of your router. So you've got to make sure that there is a free Ethernet port at the back of the customer's router. And onto the thermostat now. The nice thing about the Tado is that it's a lovely matte finish. It's very minimalistic. This is my favorite looking thermostat. Only when you press the button, bottom right corner, LED display comes up, and all it should displays is the temperature, the current temperature, and then it will switch to the desired temperature. And if you hold the button down, that's how you access the menus and the way to configure it. To wire it, you basically pull that off at the back, and on the back it's battery powered, so you will pull the tab out when prompted. But basically when you open it up in here, so because the thermostat is battery powered and the bridge is the only thing that actually requires power, you would either, depending on how your boiler is again, if it's normally open and common, you would connect it on these connections here, or if you want to use open therm, you'd connect it on the plus and minus over here. And that is all you need to do, is connect that up, remove your existing thermostat, put this in its place. So this is why this is actually a lot more easier to install than the other two, because there's no heat link required. So out of the three that I've just spoken about, the Nest, the Honeywell T6 and the Tardo, this is definitely the most easiest to install, because all you got to do is plug that into the back of the router, and then just your thermostat cable goes into this. And to set this all up, you would have to download the Tado app and follow the instructions. So whilst the other two do all the configuration without the app, so you actually don't need the internet if you don't want to use internet. The Nest and the Honeywell T6 can all be programmed, the schedule can be made up however you want it via the actual thermostat itself, so you don't really need the internet. Just to make it compatible with your mobile phone, will you need internet. Whereas a Tardo, if this didn't have the internet connected, it would work as just a normal on-off thermostat, as the current one does, only that it looks nicer. However, if you want to program this thermostat, you will need to download the app, set up an account. All the scheduling and programming is done either online on the Tado website once you've logged in, or on your mobile app. So to make this work as a programmable thermostat, you will need to download the app. So although this thermostat is battery powered, it does need to be wired to the boiler to obviously switch the boiler on and off. If you want to make your Tardo work wirelessly, you will need an extension kit. An extension kit is available for 100 quid more, which is a bit bigger than this, and it's basically it makes the system work wirelessly. So the extension kit would get fitted near the boiler, and that would be what's actually then wired directly to the boiler. And then this thermostat can be left on the table, on the wall, anywhere you want, without any need for it to be wired in, because it's battery powered. And this will then talk to your wireless unit, and you'll be able to trigger your heating on and off from the thermostat or from your mobile phone wirelessly. Back to the reason why I love the Tardo is because you can get the smart thermostats for the radiators, which is why I love Tardo. That obviously a smart thermostat is better than no smart thermostat, so this on average will save you up to 1/3 of your gas consumption. If you wanted the ultimate comfort in your house and you wanted every room to be to the degree, smart radiator thermostats are the way forward. So you can actually mount a smart thermostat per radiator in every room, and if you have multiple radiators in one room and you want to link them all together, you can link multiple thermostats in one room together as well. And each radiator can then physically trigger the boiler to fire up, and that's why it's so cool. I will do a separate video to show how to set that all up and how to configure it all, but that's why I love the Tardo. The other advantages, the Tardo app has additional features that you can buy, such as geofencing. So obviously, like, I have it set up on my phone because I have Tardo in my house, that when I'm outside my geofence, it lets me know that I've left the area. Do I want to turn the heating off? Or if a window is open, it will detect that window's open. Do you want to turn the heating off? If you actually buy the bolt-on features in the app, it would automatically do it for you, but obviously that's an additional cost. I don't use it, I don't see the need for it, that's why I've never bought the additional features. but that is something that's possible as well. The Tado is compatible with Apple HomeKit, with Amazon Alexa, Google Home, so again, it can integrate into your system very well, depending on which one you use. And the cost of the Tardo is around about 200 to 250 euros, and I think it's the same price, similar price in the UK. And you can also have multiple Tardo thermostats in the house as well, if you had multiple zones. Yeah, another great piece of kit, great smart thermostat. This is my go-to thermostat if I know the customer in the future will definitely want to put smart thermostats on the radiators. And now the next one and the final one is the new to me. It's the Vaillant V Smart. Get that ready for you, so I'll be back. Vaillant V Smart. So the reason why I'm going to be fitting the Vaillant V Smart thermostat, as I am fitting the Vaillant EcoFits, the EcoFits don't come ready for OpenTherm. To make a Vaillant EcoFit OpenTherm compatible, we need to buy an additional add-on PCB or a little attachment to fit to the main motherboard on the boiler to make it OpenTherm compatible. However, the beauty with Vaillant V Smart is that because this is connected to the eBus connection on the boiler itself, it works just like an OpenTherm with another Vaillant boiler. So therefore the EcoFit becomes OpenTherm literally just by using its own compatible thermostat. So I'm going to unbox this for you now. This is for the literature. One thing I must say, that it's not in English. I opened it up obviously to see what's inside it, and I've noticed that not a single book in here is English. It's this thick. There's like all these books in here and not a single one's English here in Holland, which is very confusing as to why they wouldn't put an English book in, yet they put in every other country's book, such as Italian, Spanish, French, German and Dutch, but no English. So yeah, I'll just end up downloading it on my phone and reading it should I need any assistance. So inside the box you get a power cable for the receiver, a table stand to allow the thermostat to stand up on the table, a big wall plate in case there's a massive hole in the wall that you need to cover, so you can use that. And the actual main thermostat comes with its own small little back plate so that it looks neater and more discreet. But if you do need to use the bigger one, you just pull this one off, so he says, and it goes straight on there. There you go. And it actually looks smart even with the big old plate on it. That actually does look quite nice and neat. That's the receiver and that's the main thermostat. The main thermostat is battery powered, so that is actually again another nice feature, that 3 AAA batteries come in the box, and if you wanted to just use it as a table standing thermostat, there you go, you can use the back plate for the table and it just stands on your table, or if you wanted to put it back on the wall, you got your wall mounting plate as well. So that's really cool. I do like that a lot. And then we've got the receiver. The receiver basically pops off there. You get the power cable. Power cable goes inside here like so, and screws to the wall underneath the boiler. And then inside the connections here, you just got 2 connections which go straight from here to the eBus connection on the PCB on the boiler, and clip this back on like so. Clip that back on, and there you go. It's a smart thermostat that you again can control with your Vaillant mobile app, and it's a smart learning thermostat. It will take about 2 weeks for it to learn and know what it's got to do, and the ease of installing it, that it's all just literally plug and play. There's no actual hard wiring to the mains voltage. This actually is definitely one of my favorite ones because there's no mains voltage required. Same like the Tardo, that it all is literally battery powered and low voltage work. and no need for touching the mains electrics. The Vaillant V Smart does work with Alexa and Apple HomeKit and Google Home. So again, it integrates into your system, into whatever smart system you have. And the pricing for this smart thermostat is €200 here in the Netherlands, and I've looked, and on the internet it's about £170 to £200 in the UK. So I think going forward with Vaillant boilers, I would definitely use the Vaillant thermostats. The only time I would probably, like I said, promote different model of thermostats if I'm fitting a Vaillant boiler. If the customer already has Nest products or a Nest thermostat, then I'd obviously just use what they already have. If they have, if they definitely want to have smart thermostats on their radiators, then I would go with a Tardo. And otherwise I'd go with the Vaillant V Smart because, yeah, it's a smart option. The only downside to the V Smart that I find is that the V Smart is like one thermostat only. You can't obviously have multiple V Smart thermostats in one house to trigger the heating on and off, because it's not triggering a zone valve. It talks directly to the boiler to fire the boiler up only, whereas the other three products can be used to fire up multiple zones because they are can be wired to motorized valves. So yeah, that's my impression on the 4 different thermostats that I fit. I hope this video was useful to you all, and to make it a bit more simpler, I will just summarize the 4 thermostats that I've spoken about in this video. So starting off with the Nest. The Nest is probably the best looking thermostat, hence why it's one of the biggest sellers. People love the whole the look of it, and I even do like the fact that you can program the display to actually show a clock or your with the weather outside, not only just the temperature inside your house. So that is a bit of a cool feature. It's obviously built like a tank. It's metal, it's metallic, it comes in various colors like white, black, stainless steel, copper as well, which I have fitted. It can work wirelessly 30 meters away from the receiver, provided obviously there's not too much metallic structures in the house, like, you know, steel RSJs and beams to cause interference. You can have multiple Nest thermostats inside your house to operate multiple zones. So that's the Nest summed up. It is, like I said, between 240 to 250 euros, similar sort of price in the UK in pounds. So that is the most expensive one. The next one that in cost is the Tardo. The Tardo is around about the €200, £200 mark. My favorite is this Tado system, just because you can obviously buy the smart thermostats to fit on radiators and control each room to a particular temperature that you may be after. That's my favorite one. The next smart thermostat that I recommend is the Honeywell T6, or the T6R if you wanted to go wireless. This again is another fantastic option. This one starts off at around about the €150 to £125 mark. It's available in white and black if you wanted to mount it on the wall. If you wanted to be freestanding, then it only comes in black. I prefer the Honeywell thermostat. If you are after a smart thermostat and just want a programmable thermostat you can turn on and off with your mobile phone or physically from the thermostat itself, the Honeywell is definitely the way forward. Especially at the price range, that is the cheapest one. And like I said, you can also have multiple thermostats in your account firing up different zones inside your house as well. So those are the 3 main smart thermostats I fit, and the Vaillant is again another great option provided you are fitting Vaillant boilers. You're not going to fit a Vaillant thermostat if you've got a Baxi or a Ramia boiler. So Vaillant has its own strengths. Like I said, especially for the Vaillant Eco, it does not come with OpenTherm protocol. To make it OpenTherm protocol, you need to buy an additional add-on electrical component to fit onto the PCB to make it OpenTherm. So that's like about 40 to 50 quid. I would rather just then therefore buy the Vaillant V Smart, and it will work as a smart thermostat on OpenTherm for you. So yeah, I hope this video was useful. And in the near future I will make more comprehensive videos of individual thermostats, so such as the Nest, the Honeywell Lyric T6, the Tardo, and even the Honeywell Evo home system. I will show you guys how to wire them up, how to set them up on your mobile phone and configure the whole system up. They will be individual videos. In the near future I will do them. And yeah, if there's any questions that you guys may have, you know, feel free to obviously drop them down in the comments. I will get back to you. You can always WhatsApp me. My number's obviously at the end of the video. And yeah, please give this video a thumbs up, share, a like, yeah, and please subscribe. It helps. Obviously, you know, I would love to keep on making content for you guys. And you can also follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, at The Bearded Heating Co. And on that note, guys, live long and prosper, and feel free to drop me a message, and I look forward to hearing from you all, and see you in the next video. Over and out. Bye bye.